pass this out now too.
For sure, I got a pencil.
You need a pen, pencil?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter?
You got one?
Unless we charge you dollars.
So what are we taking for?
So this is a remote student in Basin who's taking this
Are they on
class.
right now?
They're getting ready to be on with the little video thing.
Okay.
And then that's for, we have, how many judges do we have that are going? 3?
6. I don't know.
3 or 5 or 10, I don't know. At least 3, if not 5. And they were like, because this is important. So they were like, can you please record? And I can't record. If I could, I would record and broadcast with this thing, but it doesn't
Work.
allow me to do both at once.
Bud, are you in the right place? Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
So what did you call, we're not doing big rocks. You called it the
Big
2 Cs?
The big C's, or the two
Ah,
C's or
okay.
something. Yeah.
I called it the fork in the road,
Well, there's that too.
but that's okay.
You let us know,
You good,
Dr.
Cole?
Humphreys, when you're ready and what you want us to do
Yep.
and all that stuff.
So we
Okay.
see us and not the people in Basin?
There's the people in Basin. There's the person in Basin
Say
Oh,
hello.
hi Basin.
there. This is Cole.
Cole,
Cole?
has he been on campus before?
Yep.
Okay, so we might know him.
Maybe.
Can't see his face.
So these are all librarians, Cole,
Hi, Cole.
and everybody else. These are librarians.
Is that all you're telling me?
And they are skilled. They both have a master's in library science that allows them to direct you and collect information. They are information gatherers. They're like the internet before the internet was really the internet. They had the internet in their minds, and they still have the internet in their minds and all the books in the library in their minds. If you need information, don't go to the internet. Go to the librarians.
And we're nicer than the internet.
Boom.
That sounds like a hippie mystic vision. I like that. That's pretty cool.
Hippie.
Just a little.
My mom is a hippie.
The very first thing we want to do is pull out the little goldenrod sheet of paper. And we have just an itty bitty little thing to do with that. Your assignment says that you have to look at a crop and the U.S. production of that crop and another country's production of that crop. Okay? The problem that we have is you can say, I want to do Tahiti and I want to talk about producing pumpkins and compare it to the U.S. producing pumpkins, and the problem is Tahiti may not produce any pumpkins. So the first thing you have to consider is, did you have in mind a particular crop, or did you have in mind a particular country? You can only pick one at the outset because you have to make sure that the other entity, the other crop, or the other country actually produces so that you have enough statistics to work with. So the very first thing you want to write down is a crop or a country. We're calling that the big C.
Just one.
Just one. Now you can have in mind that I want to compare it to this other country or a different crop. But for the start, just to make sure this is going to work, you have to pick one or the other. Okay, then we can compare it to the other option that you have.
All right. This class, because we love you so much, actually we like doing this class. This is one of the most interesting assignments we get to work with. So when you're feeling frustrated, just think, Dr. Humphreys really did it for the librarians and not for you. No, not really. We have a library guide for you, and you may have they already seen the library guide?
Yes.
Okay.
Just cursory view.
So what we want you to do is go to the library guides. So you want to go to Library Guides and Tools, which is in the right side of that yellow, and then scroll down to the bottom of that page, and on the bottom right, I think the first one under Research Guides is Agroecology. We're going to work off this guide today so that you get used to using it. Everything on the guide is also available through the library webpage through that A to Z list, okay? So if you happen to just want to pop into something, you can find it through the A to Z list. The other thing we recommend is that when you're using these resources, either go through the agroecology guide or through the library website. Because if you're using it from off campus, it'll prompt you to log in. If you just say to yourself, oh yeah, the librarians talked about that crop protection compendium, I need to use that, and you do a Google search, and you click on the Google link, it's going to ask you to pay, and you don't want to do that. Okay, because if we run everything through the library page, we have a login protocol and you don't have to pay for anything. Same thing with Google Scholar. Don't use Google Scholar unless you log in through the library webpage, because there are a bunch of links in Google Scholar that if you're just out on the internet, it will ask you to pay. If you're in Google Scholar and you hit some of those links, it'll boot you into something that we've already paid for, the same content. Okay?
But I think the other advantage to going either to this or the subject guide is that we have so many options, we've tossed out the ones that aren't pertinent to you as agriculture folks.
Yeah.
So we've made it easier for you. We've said these are the good places to go.
Yeah.
It's kind of, if you don't do that, it's kind of like going to a furniture store and trying to buy blueberries. They might be there, but probably not. This takes you to all the places that you're going to find the stuff you want, so save time.
How many of you wrote down a crop on your yellow sheet? How many of you wrote down a country?
2 of you.
Okay.
How many of you didn't bring a pencil or a pen and didn't write anything?
We don't have that? Good.
All right.
We're going to deal with the people who wrote down crops first, okay? Those of you who wrote down a country, I'll try to tell you when we get into this source where to go. But my first example is going to be a crop. Beth and I decided that we were going to use rice as ours. Did anybody else pick rice? Okay. Actually, the United States produces a huge amount of rice, just so you know, all right? The guide tells us that to find an area of agriculture is our first step, okay? We're trying to figure out, if we've got a crop, what country might be useful to compare to the United States. So the first thing on the list is Fao Stat. So if you'll all go to Fao Stat. And then this website, I think, is a little confusing because it's got a lot going on. You want to click on production, the browse production link, and your screen should look like this. FAO Stat Domains Production, mine's got a picture of the world and it's serials total. I don't know what yours, sometimes they come up differently. The next thing you want to do is go over under Browse Data to Rankings. Okay? It's right here. Rankings. Click on Rankings. And then those of you who have already chosen a crop, this is counterintuitive. Those of you who've chosen a crop, click on Countries by Commodity. Okay? And then under Item, find the commodity that you're interested in. And Beth and I are going down to rice, patty rice.
And if you get to the point where you don't know what commodity you want, that list is actually a really good
Right.
list to look at.
Those of you, the two of you who picked a country, you should go to Commodities by Country and look for your country and see what the major commodities are. And the reason we're doing this, ladies and gentlemen, is you do not want to pick something that is hardly produced in the country because you will have a really hard time finding information. And if it were me, I wouldn't set myself up for that kind of work, frankly. This project requires you to do enough as it is. So your goal is to find something that matches. So those of you who have a crop, you now have a list of the countries that produce this crop in a major way, all right? Pick up your green sheet. This is also on your guide, so if you forget and lose this, you'll be okay. But I printed this off because it's easier. These are the countries that are considered developing countries, and they will qualify for this assignment. If it's not on this list, Professor Humphreys won't let you do the country, okay? So now take your list and compare, and then write down on either the same side of your paper or the back of your paper 1 or 2 countries that you think you're interested in. And in the case of those of you who already have countries, write down 1 or 2 commodities, okay?
So Cole, look on the lib guide, there's a list of countries considered developing countries on there, and that's what they're looking at. So they're just looking at FAO with the country, with the countries that are available, and the commodities.
Micah, can I do this one or not?
Cole, when you go to that, you need
Is that gonna be
to
hard?
choose either a low-income country or a low middle-income country on that list.
Yes, you may ask me.
Don't choose the upper income countries. There are 2 little sections on that World Bank list. So make sure you choose one from either low or low middle.
I want to do alfalfa, but it's not on here.
You have to choose 2.
No, just one. Then we'll come back.
Then you want to pick a different country, okay?
Well, I didn't.
If you
I
want to
haven't
do
picked-
alfalfa, then, so go back to alfalfa. No, go back to this. You want to, if you're doing,
Countries by commodity.
right,
Oh.
yes.
It's on one list. but
So
not
then
on
choose
the other.
alfalfa. If you have a crop,
I did.
you
read
choose countries by commodity. It's counterintuitive. Then that will give
So you
you
do
the
countries
crop
by
list,
commodity.
and you can look at the
that. So then
countries
wheat
that
is right there, and then there's all
okay?
your
It's
countries.
confusing, okay? So now you have a list of countries.
Alfalfa's still not on there. It might be under
I
lagoon.
believe. So yeah. I
Hops
don't-
is on there. Where? Did you go countries by commodity? It's on there. It's not underneath hemp seed.
Countries by commodity. Countries by commodity, ladies and gentlemen. It's counterintuitive.
Yeah, it's on this list.
Are you in the right place?
Yes. It's on that list. It's fine.
Thornton. Micah.
Oh, it's on there.
I don't think this green list is all of them.
Micah.
Yes.
This is, I believe, what Susan pulled on here.
Need help. I could do bananas. Is that a crop? It's a crop. I could do it.
See why not?
Bananas.
Bananas.
I could do buckwheat.
Mangoes.
I could do buckwheat.
Mangoes.
Well, you have to know.
I already tried it. I can't find alfalfa.
Seriously?
Yeah, I'm being serious.
Cauliflower.
Yuck. I don't know anything about cauliflower. I know a lot about alfalfa. That's why.
Okay, so go to.
It is. I like blueberries.
Very country.
Oh, okay, because I was like, I feel like you said it was definitely a developing country.
Yeah, because I didn't. I mean,
Cowpeas. What's a
It
cowpea?
wasn't on this list.
Okay, because I was like,
More
this
than
is
I did
tough.
research on it.
Because it says cowpea dry.
Cool.
Cowpeas.
And then
Hey, you
these
could do
are
coconuts.
the
You just need to choose.
crops that
I really just want to do alfalfa. Oh, there it is. Forage and silage
is
alfalfa.
on that list that also is produced in the
Yep.
United States. Okay.
No data to display.
Let's do coffee.
Do
That
mangoes.
probably would be a good.
2 countries that we're interested in.
You have to do 2
How many of you have selected now a country and a crop?
How do we call them a country?
You're not going to use this one for
I was
it.
gonna
It's
say,
not
oh.
that- It's not that easy.
Why isn't it
Why would Professor Humphreys make one website? We're going to go to one that's going to give you a lot of information on your country and your crops.
I really know. China,
Well, yes, we need to do that. We can just stay here and do it.
China's on there still, by the World Bank standards.
Right, okay, so this, so China,
Why
Brazil,
isn't
Mexico
anything popping
should,
up for this?
they should all be on, yeah.
I even tried to change the year.
China, Brazil, and Mexico are okay, but if they're, otherwise, if they're not on this list, just the crop.
Yeah.
Let's close out of that.
So you need to
Out
know
of
your
this.
crop in your
Yeah,
country.
why not?
Everybody got that?
And then try her again. And then the next thing,
Ethiopia, oh yeah.
I just wanted to double check it wasn't on the list.
It is.
ranking.
Well, this is a list from the World Bank. Usually they're pretty,
Try legume, because that's what it is.
So let's try not forage.
I can't find just alfalfa.
That's okay, just try something else and let's prove that there's a list.
Avocado. Yep, there's a
Okay,
list.
so if she goes to forage, there's nothing.
and I don't know what that means. I have no idea why they have it there. Try a different year.
Do it.
It doesn't look like they're actually.
Oh, I was like,
Because none of the forage ones will work.
Oh, you know why? If they're not considering it a crop, I'll bet.
Yeah, well, you can look them up. I mean,
Let's go back.
places that we have the ability to look the countries up.
Go back one
These
more.
should show up in one of the next products that we're going to show you.
Is it going to take you back? Go home. It's just not going to make us. Okay, so go to production. Browse. Crops, live animals.
They have to
Huh.
give us a lot of something.
And you were on the crops, not the crops processed. See what the, that's interesting. Well, we'll have to,
It's still on there.
we'll have to work on something for you. I know we can, I know you can use alfalfa. We're just gonna have to do a little work on. We will look, when we go into the next source, you'll be able to tell what countries produce alfalfa. Okay, is everybody ready? Okay. Everybody's got a country and they've got a crop, right? And you have, nobody has a scientific name for their crop yet, do you?
Not unless they memorized it
Okay.
for the last test.
So I'm hoping this website is back up earlier today. This morning they were working on it. So if you now go to the USDA plants database, please be up. Yes, there it is. Okay. Then you want to put your crop in this box.
You need to listen.
Click go.
And then
Yeah.
type your crop in the box.
What? No data
Mine
found.
have like 7, mine doesn't have that, 7, but it has a lot.
I was going to say, when you typed in rice, shouldn't it go to the common name?
It doesn't have a scientific name, should I
Yes.
go common name?
Change it to common name.
oh my God, change it to common name.
Oh, that makes so much more sense. Which one do I?
And then you just have to scroll down through, and in our case, best in mind is
That one.
the Orza sativa. Okay? And then you need to make sure you make a note of that, because you're going to have to search by both.
Which one?
Bananas.
Did you find it? If I just put it in? What is? What kind is this? Probably shouldn't drink it. That's what I do.
What we'll do, if you go back, this is where we call in the experts to tell us which one
These are all,
which one you need. So
Isn't something like?
go to the.
I just don't know which one.
yeah, we'll get Professor.
Hey, Professor.
Banana?
I just want Dr. Sherman.
Yeah, he'll pick
It's
her
gonna
up.
be a musa something. So banana is gonna be musa, something edible.
Medicago
banana, musa
sativa
acuminata.
Be sure to write down Usda.
Yeah.
And then she has hops.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Look in the common name list.
He's doing China though, so don't do China. I would do India too. Alfalfa in India. Don't they grow alfalfa?
How's everybody doing? You got it written down? Did you find yours?
Yeah, Medicago sativa L, right? This one?
Alfalfa, yes, I think that's right.
Because
So,
then it's either, there's lots of them that are just
Yeah.
plain alfalfa, but I figured the
Yeah.
Medicago sativa.
and
'cause
we'll look. We'll be
I think
able to-
I've seen that before.
Yeah. And which one, what are you doing? Weed? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Which one?
Did you see anything that?
You are doing humulus lupulus.
I know it's tricky.
You're gonna ace that paper just because Mike likes it.
Oh no, it means that I'm gonna be more strict
think
on
it's
her.
That means, but that means I can ask you all of these
double
questions.
Humulus lupulus.
So that's
Write
all
it down
I'm
if you will.
Humulus lupulus.
I can borrow that from Micah.
What are we doing?
You go for the pizza this morning? Why?
This is for Geria.
I had to drive back into Texas yesterday because she needed some more. She couldn't drive back because she was sleeping at the house.
I would say.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, just leave that there. And we'll. Dr. Humphries, you're doing.
Devin, he hasn't worn out his questions. yet.
Okay.
I just wanted to tell you something cool.
Oh, what?
I think everybody's pretty good.
Yep.
Do you have an extra pen?
Here, I have one.
Okay.
Yep.
Wilson forgot his pen.
Okay.
Sugar cane.
You got you, Shannon.
Yes.
She's got you.
You got one?
Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome.
I'll give it back. Just do grapes.
Did you order for the prices? Did you feed it? No. Oh, yeah. You were in Billings? Oh, okay.
And then came back to the TT night and then came back.
Probably do that for go all the way.
Because somebody put alfalfa hay
Wine grape.
cattle feeders.
This is the one I know. We'll start with this one.
I don't know, I just
You're gonna
pinched it
be
out.
rid of this genus.
I was not impressed. I was like, seriously. When he opened 2 bales of fruit, he said one was richer than the other. Like, they're all gonna be the same.
Okay.
Yeah, just feed it.
All right.
They're cheap, they're not, they've been on Roblox.
Are we good? Everybody's at least got something to go with? Okay, let's go back to the guide again. And we're going to use this crop protection compendium,
CPC.
okay? And you want to enter your scientific name here. Don't hit enter yet because you're going to filter. Did I spell it right?
Yes, but you can always
Oh, we
go to
put the
that Word
scientific
document
one in?
where I typed it.
I know I could. And then you're going to filter by data sheet full, okay? Because you want the full data sheet. If you do this and you don't get anything, then you need to take off one of the words on your scientific name.
238 results.
Usually the very first one will be the one you want. It says data sheet full, mine does.
Mine isn't sure. Maybe I'll just use this.
Okay, did everybody find a data
But he
sheet
must
that
be
looked like
having
it's
too
gonna
many
work?
words. This is Lucerne. Lucerne.
Make sure you do that because otherwise it just does a keyword search in this humongous. There you go.
Durham. I found it.
Make sure you filter. You probably don't need to be quite that.
So you actually this in there.
What'd you get?
That's just nader.
Spelling counts with scientific name. BTW, LOL, wink, wink.
International common names. An English name for alfalfa is purple medic.
Purple medic.
Spanish.
Medics are,
Spanish is alfalfa
Oh,
and
that's-
keratin. French is luzerne. Portuguese.
Did you find its
Louisiana.
profile pic in the protection compendium? Right here? Oh, you're in the, okay, yeah, you're in there.
awesome.
Okay, everybody got one? This data sheet is going to be your friend because it's got a lot of really good information. You can use any of these links over here. The two that I think are most useful for this assignment are the agronomic aspects, the biology and ecology, genetic resources and breeding, okay? But any of these will work. Any of the, you can use any of the information here, but one of the things you've got to do is talk about
It's present.
how the crop is produced. And you may know how it's produced in the United States, but you want to read this because it does talk about various parts of the world.
You got your scientific name?
Most of those, the images in this database, you can copy and paste into, if you're going to use images in your paper, the maps and that sort of thing.
Now, this map is okay, but probably what this map is showing you is if the country produces it, there's a black dot and it greens out the country. Not really useful to us. If you can find a better, more fine image of the country and its production.
If you click on the distribution maps link, you get some more. One of these may work, but you're going to be in some other places where it may work, as you may find some as well. Okay? So everybody knows how to get here. And make sure you note your scientific name. Some of you, we had to alter a little bit. Just remember how you searched in here. Be sure to limit to data sheet full. Because otherwise, this database is both for the crops and also for all sorts of crop diseases. And so if you put in just the part of the scientific name and don't limit, you're going to get lots of data sheets that are going to tell you about diseases and problems with the crop, and you don't want that right now.
Something that's handy to do with that goldenrod sheet that we gave you is write down all the options.
Yes.
Everything that you've used, keep it in one place, then don't lose the sheet. And then you don't have to rediscover the terms again.
Okay, so then we're going to talk about countries. So is that right? Is that what we're doing next?
So you'll remember, just let me say that you'll remember when we talked about this in class, one thing I said was, if you can find a production guide for wheat or for sugarcane or for whatever, it's going to help you out a lot. Sometimes you won't be able to find a production guide, like a Montana wheat production guide, right? If you can't find it, the crop protection compendium is that guide, those agronomic aspects. That's the guide to how does this plant grow, what's its growth cycle like, what are the stages of development, how do you harvest, how do you fertilize, all that stuff.
Beth has handed out a worksheet that you'll need to complete, and part of the reason you need to complete this is if you do this worksheet, you're going to have a pretty good start on your project, okay?
This worksheet is precisely what is now turned on Moodle. So your report summary that we talked about, this is your report summary. Okay? You fill this in very well. Now you don't have to fill it in all by hand right now. It's online electronically. All these questions are online. Okay? But if you want to make notes on this and then turn it in electronically, that's what you need to do. Okay?
What we don't want you to do is get too distracted filling in blanks, okay, right now. The other big component of this project is that you need to have information on your other country. And the link that says finding country information is your key to that. There are lots of places to go. The one thing I would not recommend you do until you exhaust these links, I would not recommend you do a Google search. Because two things are going to happen. One is that you're going to get stuff that's been done by junior high kids for social studies projects. There are gazillions of web pages out there like that, and then you're going to have to sort through it. and figure out, well, who wrote this and what it is. The second thing that will happen is people love to put a lot of crap up on the internet on countries. So I would recommend you use these first, and then if you're having trouble getting a question answered, Google might be helpful to you. The FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization of the United States, is a great place to go. This is not the stat page. This is a different page, okay? And there are links here for, I think, just about every country in the world. So pick your country. I think Beth and I decided we were going to use Brazil.
Where did you go?
Yeah, how did you get that?
Go to the link on the guide that says Finding Country Information. All those tabs are aspects of your assignment, okay? Then go to FAO and choose your country. Lots of really good information here, okay?
Did you get there? People who were lost?
Everybody get there? Okay.
Okay.
Now, the other thing we should stop and make a comment about is as you find information, make a note of where you found it, because you do have to cite your sources, okay? And there's a tab on this guide that tells you the style, and then there are some very good examples. I think there's an example of the FAO website and the Crop Protection Compendium. So make sure you note where you got your information, okay? So that's a biggie. The next one on the list is Country Watch, and it's also very useful. It works the same way. You pick your country. In this case, you have to click the Select a Country and click on your country. Everybody find that link? Country Watch is the next one down. And then there's a brown button up in the upper right that says Select a Country. This one has a tab on agriculture. I think each country has a tab on agriculture. Oops, you okay? Agriculture data. Most all these sites get their data from the same place, from the United Nations. So,
But populate, this is where you fill in the blanks for your comparing each country. How much land area, what's their population, probably has male to female ratio, total land area. Okay.
and I would recommend, if you are going to use Country Watch or FAO, you also go in and look at the US page and compare the data across the website so that you're comparing apples to apples. Both these websites use the same sources, but it would make more sense to say, you know, pull this from Country Watch or FAO, the same data, okay? But they do have different pieces of data, so you should take a look at those. We're not going to go through all the other sources for country information, but I would recommend you use them. We do, Wildcat is the library catalog. We do have some books on some of these countries. We also have books in our electronic book collections, which Beth is going to show you in a minute. But I want to note the embassy.org guide, the link. If you want to look at the country's website, I would go through this link. This is a list of the embassies in the United States. It will list them. You can click on it. And then those pages usually lead you right to the country's official website, so you don't have to sift through. We've had students in this class who've actually contacted the embassy and gotten information from them. They are very happy to do that, most countries. Just send them an email, tell them why you want the information, what information you're looking for. That's part of what they do is have good relations with the United States, and that's what those people, I mean, there's probably somebody in the embassy of Ecuador, for instance, who answers those kinds of questions. So if you want to do that, feel free, okay?
Do consulates also provide similar information?
They do, although they often send you to the embassy people.
Okay.
Consulates that are, they're sort of mini embassies around the,
Well, my understanding is that embassies do diplomatic kinds of
Mhm.
things, consulates do business kinds of things, so, and you'll have an embassy in a capital, you'll
Mhm.
have consulates wherever the business of, like I know some people were doing wheat, so places where wheat would be common, I'd guess like Kansas City,
yeah.
might be a place that there'd be a consulate.
But some countries just don't have them in the United States, so you may not find that. So you've got to look, you're right, you've got to
It's
look at
just a
both.
thought.
Yeah. Okay, everybody know where to go for country information? Okay.
Well, I'm going to close a couple of those so I don't have quite so many windows open. You either may or may not. And then I'm going to go to finding research information. So we're going back to the agroecology LibGuide, and we're going to go to finding research information. And we're going to take a look at 2 or 3 specific places. Agriculture Journals is number 1 that we're going to take a peek at. It's produced by ProQuest. If you've been in here before and we've talked to, say, your English 1010 class, maybe you've seen a ProQuest webpage that looks very much like this, but it's called ProQuest Central. The difference is the stuff it searches through. This looks through agriculture stuff. So the stuff you guys want and need is likely to be here. At this point, I'm going to type in the name for rice, which I'm going to go with O-R-Y-Z-A. Sativa, and I'm going to put it in quotes because if those words are together, it may not be the plant that I want. So I'm looking up rice, and I'm using the scientific name, and we picked the country Brazil. So I'm typing in Brazil, and no, I don't need to capitalize it. And then I'm going to add a row, and I'm going to type in production. And I'm going to maybe play with those terms because it may not get me exactly what I want.
For your scientific name, you can leave off the L. If there was an L on your name, you can leave that off.
See, I left the L off in mine and it searched peanuts.
What are you're doing alfalfa. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
leave it on yours then, I guess.
All right. Medicago sativa should be yours.
Well, then you have to put a capital L. Or
You
else,
should just be able to put quotes, Medicago sativa.
So I just hit search. And I'm just going to see what I get. I got 870 items. I'm going to mess with it a little bit. If I were working and I cared very, very, very deeply about finding everything on my topic, I wouldn't worry about full text. But frankly, I don't care that much. I want this project to work, and I don't have that much time. So I click on the little plus, and it says, oh, full text is included. 782 as opposed to 870. So I'm going to click on that, and everything that's going to land on my screen should have full text associated with it. So that'll save me a little bit of time. And then the next thing is I want good stuff. So I have a choice. I can go to scholarly stuff. If I go to scholarly journals, it has 770 articles. If I go to peer-reviewed, it has 710 articles. Now, scholarly journal publishes good stuff, good quality research. Peer-reviewed is a little bit more elite. Okay? That means that whatever is published in that journal has gone out to people who are experts in that field. And they've looked at it and said, yeah, this is good stuff. Or no, it's bad stuff. And if it's bad stuff, it doesn't get published. So I'm going to click on peer reviewed. Now I'm down from 800 and some to 750. I'm sorry, 710. Math's not my best thing. We've talked about that before. I can also look at it and say, I only want the new stuff. I don't want old stuff. So I can go grab this and say, yeah, 2012 to current, that's fine. I click on update, and now it didn't do anything for me.
It went down to 377.
Oh, it did, okay. It went to 377. And for the most part, when I'm dealing with library databases, it gives me the newest stuff first. When we go to Google, what's it give us? Advertising. That's good.
First, yeah.
That's good, yeah, but what else? What else sifts to the top? Wikipedia at the stuff that's most clicked on, right? Okay, so what we've got here is the stuff that's newest. So if you're trying to find what's the best way, according to the latest research, to work with my product, my plants, then this is where the information's going to show up. Make sense? Okay, so at this point, I'm just going to take a look at one of them. If I click on the title, I get a different set of things. I've got the PDF of the file, so this is the actual research, and if I want it, I'm going to click on the download PDF and just get a file that's the PDF, so I don't have to read it through their goofy little reader. But I also want to use some of the stuff that's on this page, like where it says Cite. It says, oh, I can help. What do you want me to do? And here you can hit a down arrow, and now I've forgotten. Is it APA that's most like it, or MLA?
APA is most like what they're using. So
This particular product offers about 15 ways to cite your stuff. None of them are exactly the way you're supposed to cite your stuff. So if you go up to APA and click on it, and I told it to change, but it shouldn't make any difference because that's what it defaults to. Then you copy this. Bless you. And I'm going to drop it into that Word document that I've been using all along, which is comparable to your golden sheet. Okay? So I told it, I have my country, I have the names of the crops that I've discovered so far. I have the U.S. because that's my other entry. And here I have the citation. I'm going to make it big enough for you to see. But here's the information for my citation. Now you guys have to use a different citation format. And that's okay. You have all the pieces to the puzzle right here. You just have to put them in the right order. It's like the little box. Look at the picture. And then make the pieces match. Okay, so you have this stuff.
And it's very close. It's not perfect, but it's very close to the agronomy style.
Okay? So that, and when I go looking for stuff for a project, I want to make sure that I save this kind of information from the get-go. If I took the time to find it, I don't want to have to go find it again. One of the things I get a call, I'm at the reference desk, and people say, I have a paper that's due at like 9:30, and I kind of forgot where I got some of the information. Can you help me? No, I can't. Or we have to try and rediscover it again. So make sure that you keep that. The other thing that you get when you go to the page, rather than just going directly to the PDF, rather than downloading the PDF and using only that, you also have the ability, when you click on the title, to get an option to email it to yourself. And it says, well, what did you want to include? Well, I want everything. Sometimes it'll let you say, I want APA, when it emails it to you. And then you put in your email address, and when you put in the subject, which is the next little box down, instead of getting 20 things that say your ProQuest research, which does not help you identify the items at all, say, this had information about rice production in Brazil. This had statistics about rice production. This had information about, I don't know, the best kind of soil or how to modify something or other, okay? Put down something short that'll help you remember, oh yeah, that's why I picked that article. Otherwise, you go back to your email and you stare at it again and go, I have to go through all 20 again? Yep, you do. Put something down that identifies why it's important, okay? Now you could also go back, and I'm not going to do it, but you could also go back and instead of searching, I can't even pronounce it, Oryza sativa, you could go back and try rice and see what you find. You might find a slightly different collection of things. But if you aren't getting what you want in this particular database, or you think you've panned it out, you've gotten everything that's really going to be useful to you, I'd move on to the next product.
And I put down some other terms. Beth said she put in production. If that's not giving you what you want, start making a list. These are some of the other terms that might work. If you're looking for equipment, you might try this search and put in equipment or agriculture equipment or something. Whatever you're looking for, put that in your boxes, but don't put a gazillion terms in at once. You'll have to do them individually.
Yeah, and don't try doing US and Brazil and rice and production all at the same time, because you might be the one lucky winner who finds 3 articles exactly on your topic, but more likely you're going to get nothing, and then you're going to be frustrated because how come it doesn't have an article on exactly what I want? Instead, you're going to have to look up the 2 countries and their particular crop separately. And then take the information
Dr. Humphreys
together.
has you comparing things basically not only because, but you are rarely going to find an article that compares your crops for you. That would be like winning the lottery.
Just too handy. I'm going to go back to our LibGuide, and I'm still under the finding research information, and I'm going to go to a product called Science Direct.
We only have a couple minutes, so.
Oh, okay.
So you might want to go to, you're done at 10:02, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Science Direct works pretty much the same. We've got another product that you may want to look at instead called eBrary. Actually, that's not here.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
right above you.
Is it?
Yeah, electronic
Oh,
books from
okay.
eBrary.
Was that spelled right?
Mhm.
Anyway. Okay,
It's
so
the
at this
first
point,
electronic book link.
I'm going to type in Brazil and rice and hit search. Rice, origin, antiquity, and history. Rice, the primary commodity, that sounds like it might be a pretty good place for me to go. If I click on the title, then I get information about the book. Want to make sure that you know that there's a button down here called Cite Book. And it says, did you want MLA or APA or Chicago? Copy and paste that into that Word document, email it to yourself so you have it. To actually read it, click where it says Read Online, and then the magic of this particular product is you can search within the book. So you want to know every page that has the word Brazil in it. Type Brazil, hit the button, and, well, this one doesn't have things divided very nicely, but where it has that long blue purple line, any place that has a purple line, it's telling you it uses the word Brazil.
There's a whole chapter on Brazil. Look at that. And a whole chapter on the United States. Anybody want to change their topic to rice? We didn't plan this. This is the real deal.
So it said page 89. I went up here to page 89. I typed in page 89, and I hit enter, and I'm going to cross my fingers. And lo and behold, Brazil and rice. I highlight it and go, that's exactly what I want. And once I highlight it, then I go looking at this little batch of icons. I don't know what they mean. I go to the one that has 2 pages of paper on it, and it comes up with a full citation and all the information I just highlighted. So I've got the content that I highlighted and the citation information. That's that puzzle thing again. It's not in any particular format here, but all the stuff that you need probably is. So copy that, drop it into your Word document, and be happy.
eBrary has a lot of agricultural books in it, and we have actually purchased more agricultural books in this collection. So search for your topic in there for sure. Those are our best bets. Lots of places to look. We're happy to help you if you get stuck and can't find something. But the guide ought to make this, doing the research ought to be relatively easy on this project. Do the research early, then you'll have time to think about how you want to put your project together.
Right. I mean, this is a ton of information. I know it's a lot of stuff. The key thing you should be thinking is, wow, this is going to make my project easier. If I spend the time. Okay? Time is going to be key. Getting used to resources is going to be key. Getting used to citing, getting used to keeping track of all your stuff is going to be really key. All right?
The last link on that guide is the citation link. It's got examples to help you, so.
All right. Thank you on Thursday. Tomorrow for lab.
One more site. So then we can turn this into.